All this week we've been waiting to find out, will Donald Trump in fact be muzzled when it comes to the January 6th case, or will he be free to speak freely about it and likely intimidate witnesses and encourage people to try to murder judges and things like that? Well, it's a bit of a mixed bag. Now I'm gonna catch you up. We'll find out exactly what happened. Last Friday, he posted this on Truth Social: "If you go after me, I'm coming after you," which you could make the case that that's a threat. Anyway, Jack Smith wanted to make that case, and he filed for a protective order that would have limited the way that Donald Trump can speak about this case while the case is pending. And District Judge Tanya Chutkan started to consider this, allowed Donald Trump and his legal team to send in their concept of how this should work. And finally, we fast forward to today and we have the actual hearing. And so during the hearing, I'm gonna jump to graphic 6, she referenced the Supreme Court's 1966 ruling that found Sam Shepard, who was convicted of murdering his pregnant wife, did not have a fair trial because of a, quote, carnival atmosphere surrounding his case. Quote, "The more a party makes inflammatory statements about this case, the greater the urgency will be that we proceed to trial quickly." Now, I think the case is a little bit different in that Donald Trump is the carnival barker. He's the one who would make it a carnival atmosphere. But anyway, she did agree with some of what Trump wanted, some of what the Jack Smith team wanted, and so we do have a bit of a mixed bag. So she agreed with the proposed order from Trump's legal team, who argued that only sensitive information should be kept under wraps. The Trump team's order would not cover the disclosure of non-sensitive material. Now, of course, we're gonna have to find out exactly what qualifies as sensitive or not. But this means that Donald Trump is not gonna be stopped from just blanket talking about anything having to do with the case. It will be certain sorts of material that he's not allowed to discuss. But Chutkan did side with prosecutors on several details, including a request that all recordings, transcripts, and reports of witness testimony should be considered sensitive information, so we have that. She also accepted prosecutors' request that Trump's lawyers review any notes he takes about sensitive material to ensure that they don't include personally identifiable information that would allow him to effectively dox the witnesses during the trial. She also denied a request from Trump's team to broaden the number of people who could have access to the discovery material. Also importantly, if Donald Trump is reviewing the material, and just try to imagine him like going through a bunch of documents, it's ridiculous, but hypothetically it could happen. He will not be allowed to have any electronic devices with him while he does that. He's not gonna have his phone to take pictures or to do audio notes or anything like that, and the notes again will be reviewed afterwards. So a little bit of what Trump wants, a lot of probably what Trump doesn't want. What do you think?
So I was surprised that Jack Smith even asked for the protective order, and I'll tell you why. Because what you don't want to do is muzzle Donald Trump if you're the prosecutor. If you're the prosecution, you want Donald Trump talking as much as humanly possible, because that brother's got verbal diarrhea, and he's going to accidentally confess 2,000 times, as he's already done, right? And so you want him to keep on talking, because you could use all of that. That evidence can and will be used against you in a court of law, right? And so you all know that. So why are they doing this? Well, I have a theory. My theory is that they are trying to protect one particular witness that is going to be stunning, and that's Mark Meadows. And so we all know that Mike Pence has already talked to the prosecutors. People keep talking about Mike Pence, but we know roughly what he's gonna say. Trump already knows it, the public knows it. I don't think that Pence is the concern at all. I get it, they could be worried about a specific piece of evidence that's going to leak, but really how much of a difference does that make? Because the trial is gonna come up relatively soon anyway, right? But the one witness that people don't know whether he is an actual witness in this case and will make a difference or not is Donald Trump's former chief of staff, Mark Meadows. And they have kept that top secret. He is not among the unindicted co-conspirators. There's just no information about him at all when, and of course, he would be a very, very material witness in the January 6th case, since he was a chief of staff at that point, okay? So, but will these protective orders work? 0% chance. The minute that Donald Trump sees Mark Meadows in any document, he's gonna go, "Mark Deranged Meadows is the worst person in the world. He's an idiot, and that's why I hired him, just like everybody else I hired. And he's a traitor, and he should be hung up." Did I say that? No, I'm saying a maybe could be. I kind of liked it. Okay, so it's not gonna work, and that's why part of I think why the judges threatening, if you noticed, if you paid careful attention to our last couple of sentences there, You blab about this, you're not gonna be able to put Trump in prison like she would be able to do with a regular defendant if the defendant is in contempt of court, right? So she's saying, well, if you blab about the witnesses, then I guess we're gonna have to have the trial quicker, because then I gotta protect the witnesses and I gotta protect the evidence. So we gotta get to court before you taint the jury pool. And so that is a significant threat, because Trump doesn't want the trial to be earlier. He wants it to be as late as possible.
Yeah, there's definitely a threat there. And Trump is also he's already turned that on Chutkan, but he's gonna be even worse. And I'm reminded of the moment during the Alex Jones trial where they were like, is this a cartoon of the judge presiding over your defamation case, you stupid idiot? And he's like, no, maybe, And so that's gonna happen here tenfold. That was the best part of that trial. But the other part and sadly that was televised, or excitingly that was televised, and this will not be. I guess the last thing I was gonna say is there's real danger here, right? This is a week when it kind of just like washed over us. But yeah, man in Utah threatening Biden and was shot by the FBI, doopy-doo. Like all of the people who may or may not be named are like at risk, including anyone else, right? So it is another argument to wrap this up quickly rather than prolong it, and or prolong it so much so that everyone forgets. I don't know, but there's literal political violence to back up every single one of these ridiculous bleats that Trump is issuing.
Thanks for watching The Young Turks, really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR. So those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.